Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to a live stream here this evening on Thursday night. Thursday night's nightfall gets dark early now. Volume is super low. I don't really like bringing it up too much. Some of it is I talk really quietly. What's up? I got this video that I kind of want to watch. This video of the shooting, its analysis, talking about the conspiracies. What details are there even left to discuss at this point? Well, there's a lot of conspiracies now. Let's just say. Now, I don't think it was a bullet. He didn't have a bulletproof vest on. That's been confirmed at this point. There was no bulletproof vest. There was no ricochet. It was a direct hit. Dude, I've seen so many theories. People say he got shot from behind and that's the exit wound. Doesn't add up. One of the 9/11 videos coming back feels so long. I don't know. I don't really have. Well, I might be doing one. I almost I was gonna do one, and then the Kirk thing happened. No, yeah, there was no vest. I think people would be able to know immediately if there was a vest or not. I mean, it could be really skinny, I guess, but what do you think of the Piers Morgan Don Lemon interview? I think Don Lemon acted like a 13-year-old girl. I thought that was really embarrassing by Don Lemon, honestly. I mean, but you know those interviews, and Lemon got really salty that he was asked about his firing from CNN. But I don't know. It just seemed like he was acting like a bitch to me. How long do you plan on streaming tonight? I don't know. I normally go around 2 hours. Dude, I was looking back at my old streams. I was looking back at my old streams from like the election time. What a time that was. What an epic time. Channel's a sausage fest. Well, welcome to any political channel ever. It's really not. It's really not a. It's not a surprising thing. You actually interviewed with Turning Point to run their social media 3 months ago. The last question you asked was regarding the security measures, knowing the danger they were in, chilling now. Wow, that's pretty insane to reflect on if that's true. The stream had so much, but dude, even the streams going into it were I like how many views I would get was pretty insane for me. I mean, I guess that happens once every 4 years, so you can understand. Did you see Matt Walsh's response to Keith Oberman? Got kind of some respect back for him. Yeah, Keith Oberman actually responded to me in a tweet today. I was like, man, this guy's pretty big. I should respond for clout. He's just got derangement, Keith Oberman. There's no point. I don't think he even responded to Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh, I guess, eviscerated him. There's really nothing else to say what Matt Walsh said about Keith Oberman. People on the right were saying it's too far. But Keith Oberman's been like that for years. He does have like a political derangement problem in general, not even like a troll. Yeah, I saw the Candace Owens picture that she supposed. How did Candace Owens get that exactly? I mean, if she actually got that, good on her. But she got a picture of Tyler Robinson. He went to Dairy Queen after the shooting within the Orem area. I don't know if I believe that. 6:30 at night, so that would be 6 hours. He was still in Orem. Again, I don't know. I mean, it did look like him, but then people, of course, are saying, "Oh, it's AI." Of course, it's AI. I put it in Chat GPT. They say it's AI. I know we got this whole argument about free speech and the right and the left and hypocrisy. Basically, that's a summary of it. Huh. How is this dude the president of anything? He shouldn't even be the president of a Wendy's, of a local Wendy's. He's the president of Oxford. It's just more just complete DEI. Thoughts on Dairy Queen Blizzards? Well, they're very fattening. Now, Dairy Queen's good. I used to have cookie dough Blizzards. Cookie dough Blizzards. I don't really have Blizzards anymore, but Blizzards, they're good. Bills or Dolphins? Dude, you know what I was thinking about the NFL? The reason the NFL has gotten so bad, it's very simple. Think about the quarterbacks we had when I was growing up, like let's just say 2013. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. There's nothing like that now. Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, these quarterbacks are just not even close to what it was like. And they say it's because of two high safeties or whatever, defensive alignment. I don't know. I think these quarterbacks are just not as good. And then they're like these NFL fans, they just cope and they're like, oh, this quarterback nucleus is so talented. These guys are not that good. They're just not that good. I'm sorry. Mahomes is this is his third year he's been average. I mean, I'll take the Bills to win, but even Allen is like, and then it's like these teams can't even get their star quarterbacks receivers. And you'd think if you're an elite receiver, you'd want to play with a really good quarterback. Mitchell, thank you for that, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think it's a lot of cope from these NFL fans that still think this product is good. These quarterbacks are just not even close to what we previously had. It's point blank, period. The quarterback affects the game. It's the most important position out of basically any sport, any team sport. Thoughts on the Guardians? They're the same thing every year. They ruin themselves. They have batting practice jerseys. Have you seen their jerseys? They look like they're fucking batting practice. They got logos all. They got sponsorships all over. That's it's pathetic. The team name is bad. The team is the same thing every year. They fucking suck at. They can't hit. But it's like now they're winning seven straight games, and it's the same thing with the fans. They buy in, and then I mean the Guardians have had the last like seven times they've been to the playoffs. They've lost to the Yankees every time. That's what it feels like. You think the Bears can do anything? I don't know. I mean, they've got Caleb Williams. I think he's got talent, but he doesn't really have a feel for the quarterback position, and that's a pretty common thing we're getting with a lot of these quarterbacks. Least favorite fast food place? There's a lot of fast food places I haven't been. I'm not a big fan of Burger King, so I'd probably say Burger King. But I guess it depends what you any like Japanese fast food I think is bad. I'm not a fan of it, but like especially the fast food. But I'd probably say Burger King. I don't like Burger King. Do you like Subway? Yeah, Subway's fine, but I don't really eat at Subway anymore, honestly. Erica Kirk is the new CEO and chair of the board. Yeah, so we'll have to see what comes of this. With Erica Kirk, I think everyone kind of assumes that she'll appoint people, or you just wonder because obviously Charlie Kirk was extremely hands on. He was the entire nucleus. So I think people are thinking, all right, well, what's the next move after this? Long John Silver's, I never had it. We don't have any Long John Silver's in our area. Jack in the Box, we don't have it either. Ben Shapiro is probably plotting some way to take over Turning Point. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a very, very powerful company because of the amount of the youth. I mean, but that was because of Kirk to a large extent. So without Charlie Kirk, I mean, do they still have that pull? So there's all, but they do have the infrastructure. I feel like they've got. I believe they've still got a lot of funding. They have the infrastructure. They have the studio. So they still have all of this, and it's like, well, who picks up the pieces here? And so I think we'll just have to wait and see what ends up happening. But a lot of people have been speculating that the Daily Wire wants some type of, I know they donated $1 million as like a good faith thing. So is that their way in the door? We'll have to see. Tell me you have an In-N-Out. Oh no, we don't have an In-N-Out at all. I've had In-N-Out one time in my life when I went to Las Vegas or something, I think. Did you see that Charlie and Erica agreed on his show that she was the more conservative of the two? Yeah, I saw that clip. Dude, there are so many Charlie Kirk clips going around. So many. So many shorts. Just so much content. Just insane amount of content Charlie Kirk did. And it makes sense. Yeah, I understand nothing for nothing. That's why I said it was probably a foot in the door. That would be my assumption of the donation, the $1 million donation. You're not 100% convinced that the murderer acted without organizational or national support, but the celebratory reactions from so many of your neighbors are concerning. Sounds like a Chat GPT statement there. Might be a bot. There's no way Kimmel will cave and donate money to the Kirk family, right? I don't know. I haven't seen exactly what's going on there with Kimmel's response and what they're doing. I don't know. The whole thing is just the guy said something out of line and he got reprimanded for it. That's it. That's what happened. Is there any proof that the administration, told ABC or the FCC to do something? I don't know. Piers Morgan acts like he's a centrist, but I mean, honestly, someone like Piers Morgan, he's gonna flip flop on an issue depending. He really is kind of a centrist, honestly, and it does make sense if you're gonna moderate stuff. And his entire show is, but then he gets into arguments with people, so it's like a combination. I guess that's how those shows are. I mean, that's what Abby Phillip does the entire time. She argues the liberal point, but she's somehow the moderator. Biden did the same thing with Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, so it's fair game. Yeah, it's just like whatever, dude. The guy said something wrong, but it's like, what is Kimmel's even contribution to like the culture and influencing people? I feel like he has no influence. Maybe it's just because I never watch him. But whether Jimmy Kimmel is on the air or off the air, it really doesn't change a single thing for me at all. So, I mean, he's a liberal late night host. I think these late night hosts really, these people have inflated egos of themselves. They're really not important. This is someone that's not important. So, whatever happens, I mean, if he gets back on the air, that's fine. If he stays off the air, that's fine. What are they going to replace him with? Someone more liberal? That's fine. It doesn't really bother me no matter what. No matter what they do with these people, these late night hosts. I know, but that's the thing with Trump is he's obsessed with this stuff. He's obsessed with people talking bad about him, and why is CNN crying over this firing? Because it's a liberal that got reprimanded and got taken off the air, and so they're saying it's hypocritical for Republicans to be. But I don't even know if there's what is there a report that Trump was involved and they pressured the FCC or something. I haven't seen any report on that. So I think ABC just said, "Listen, you just blatantly lied about this. It's a problem, and you're going to be removed." Wonder what mindset Robinson is through all of this. Really regretful or defiant. He's doing that. He doesn't talk. Did you see him during the hearing? He wasn't saying anything. He wasn't making any faces. So it's the whole basically stone cold thing where he doesn't show any emotion. That's the kind of vibe I get from him right now. Don Lemon almost came to tears on Piers Morgan. Yeah, I know. I saw that. I thought it was pretty pathetic. It's just like, dude, are you gonna answer the question or not? And then he kept bringing it up, and he's like, he got so offended. The question was asked about him being fired from CNN. What's the big issue? Just answer it, dude. You got fired or not, or tell us what happened. What's the fucking problem? It's like these people have to be difficult. Do you know how much a podcast makes? Podcasts, I would say, are 100% based on spot ad reads. Well, it depends how many viewers you have. That's what it's based on. Shut down Amazing Lucas. I'm not sure who that is, but thank you for the donation. Mm-hmm. What's up, bro? Seems like Kimmel was a sacrifice, so to speak. They used this as a reason to fire him and maybe a relief valve. He said worse during COVID. Yeah, I mean, maybe they were trying. People were arguing that maybe they were trying to already get rid of him, and so this is just an excuse to finally do it. Thoughts on Trump checking out Princess Kate at the dinner? I didn't see that. Piers just had a YouTuber named Amazing Lucas. He's a grifter, POS. He was MAGA back in the day, but not anymore. Maybe you next to your DG plus Piers equals. So he's a liberal turn, or he's a conservative Trump supporter turned liberal. During COVID, Kimmel said the unvaxxed can go away and just die. Yeah, they're really vicious people, 100%. 100% for a medical decision. But obviously, it's formatted in a way, oh, you don't care about anyone around you. But I mean, they lost that battle in terms of whether or not being vaccinated gave you a higher chance of getting COVID, because that was the entire argument for young people to get vaccinated. Well, if you don't get vaccinated, you have a higher chance of getting COVID, and then you'll pass it to old people. And then it turned out that wasn't true. It doesn't matter if you're have the vax or don't have the vax. You like how the Democrats called Jimmy Kimmel firing fascism? Well, they call everything fascism, man. It's the boy. Everything's fascist. Everything's racist. Everything's sexist. And everything's transphobic, Islamophobic. I mean, it's all the same stuff. It really is. None of the words have any effect. They just don't. When you call everything something, the effect of the word is limited severely. Oh, they shut down many channels about the COVID. The COVID stuff was insane. You couldn't even mention it really. Like it was a nuclear bomb to even mention on YouTube, the COVID during the height of it in 2020 and 2021. Luckily my channel wasn't around then, really. Thoughts on West Coast states forcing vaccines on children against FDA recommendations? I'd have to see the vaccines they're forcing. You into crypto? Yeah, I only own crypto. I don't own any stocks right now. If you gave me $100 super chat one of these days, you'd love to debate me live on stream. You would school me like Kirk did. Yeah, I don't think you would be able to beat me in a debate, man. Why did conservatives allow cancel culture in 2020, 2021? Because they didn't control any of the social media platforms. No, I'm not in Tesla. UVU shooting today? What do you mean? What do you mean shooting? Yeah, this is the comment to Keith Oberman. He just not, and this is what they started doing. You take a photo, you even screenshot. I wonder how they're able to do that, where they can you screenshot a photo and it includes the x.com now. It's watermarked on there. I guess it looks not bad, but that's what I realized when I was screenshotting photos. USC's playoff chances. Um, there's a chance. I'd have to look at their schedule. I don't think it's a high chance though. USC has Notre Dame on the road, I believe. That's tough because that could be another loss, even if it's out of conference. Then you've got Michigan, although that's at home. I don't know. I'm not familiarized with the rest of their schedule. You're surprised CoffeeZilla hasn't put out some TDS slop about the Charlie assassination? Well, what do you even put out? He's not even political. You can't even put anything out because it's so bad for the left. The only thing he probably would have put out is like, oh, he's a Trump supporter. But that's like 50 IQ. He's not dumb enough to do that. Trump interview. ABC plan was to fire him, no profits and bad for ads. Well, if that's true, then they probably were just waiting a moment to be able. They were waiting to be able to do it. Trump and the First Lady are back in the United States.
Targets for vitriol and bile. And I don't even actually want to read what he said because it's really disgusting, but he's calling her scum, that she shouldn't be in our country, and she should basically go back to her home country, Somalia. She is, of course, an American citizen serving proudly in the Congress. And it just seems to me that, again, in this context, that, it's unnerving to hear him speak that way, especially as he's trying to, shut down dissent.
Yeah, you see, here's what I would hope, Chris, that the libertarians out there, the folks that fly the Gadsden flag, they would be appalled by this. You don't have to agree with Ilhan Omar. She's representing her people. She's voted in. She's a citizen. She's doing good work. She didn't do anything on this to Donald Trump other than she disagrees with his horrific policies, just like I do. But we all know why he's going after her, because she's a Muslim woman. And that's just what...
I want to do a video, and I want to really research this. What's happening in some of these, what's happening in Minnesota, what's happening in Dearborn. I mean, you have, decently sized cities taking over by Muslims. How does this happen? How does this happen? I think it's probably liberal acceptance, honestly, but I'd have to really look it up. I know that the story of Obama importing a bunch of Somalians in, but I just wonder how insane is this? Look at and then the other thing I was thinking, the fucking mayor of London, England is Muslim. The potential future mayor of New York City, New York, is Ugandan. How the fuck does this happen in the West? And I guess it's because of immigration and, the progressive thinking, but I don't know how this happens, man. I don't know if she married a brother. That's what Trump was saying. Yeah, that's been a rumor for a while. That's how she got citizenship. Honestly, why don't they just look in? They did look into that, and I think it might have been false, but I don't know. You realize Waltz is way worse than Kamala? They're just talking suits. They don't believe anything. They're not even useful idiots because they lost the election. These people are nothing. They don't matter. Waltz said represent her people, Somalians. Right. Well, I mean, he meant, really, it is the Somalians that voted her in the United States, because that's how fucked up the country is. Because there's so many of them migrated into this city and they were able to elect her locally. It's like immigrants elected an immigrant. Oh, that's great for the fucking country. What even is our country? It's like people come from India or people come from Somalia, and then they just vote for another Somalian.
What he does, and he tries to stir up hate. And look, Donald really runs this stuff up when I still want to know where the Epstein list is for President Trump. I still want to know what you're going to do about prices out here. I want you to make sure you get some contracts for soybeans with China, which are at zero and have a chance of destroying farm economy across middle America. So, look, this is all part of the plan, but it's horrific. And you can be certain when Donald Trump puts that out, Congresswoman Omar and her family are put at risk. So we're talking about this political violence thing. We have got to get back to the decency. We have got to get back of seeing the humanity in each and every one of us. I'm not going to hold my breath that Donald Trump can do that, but I am holding out hope that Americans can do that. And I think...
So now they want to school us on political violence after what happened to Charlie Kirk.
That's the whole gist of what's happening here. And instead, we're banning comedians from being on TV, and then you put out garbage like that. I would hope that Americans would see beyond this. And it is encouraging to me, Chris, some of the clips you played of the conservative comedians and some of the conservative voices like Karl Rove, they get it, that this is North Korea-style stuff. It has no place in America, and people need to make sure that if he gets away with this, man, Katie, bar the door. It's all open. Every one of those rights is then at risk.
Good. I want to have you back soon to talk about the farm crisis, something I've been...
At least it double points, bonus points for not mentioning fascism. I guess he hinted at it. Yeah, this was Trump about Ilhan Omar talking about her country of Somalia. Yeah, it's a complete shithole. He's right on that. P.S. Wasn't she the one that married her brother in order to gain citizenship? What scum we have in our country telling us what to do, how to do it. Karl Rove, the bastion of MAGA. Trying to find that interview. Who was the guy in green? What are you referencing? Thank you for the donation. I'm not sure what you're referencing. In one of the Kirk videos? Kimmel refused to apologize. Yeah, I think he's trying to drum up. You know, the thing with someone like Kimmel, this is great attention for him. And he's an attention whore, I'm sure. They all are. Any of these TV media personalities. So he's probably just gonna bask in the attention, and he's gonna be the fighter on the left that was unjustly silenced by the dictator. So that's probably what he's trying to formulate. Not the greatest week for college football. Yeah, I know. It's pretty bad. Again, I mean, there's been some bad early weeks, man. There's a lot of teams off. A lot of the top teams are off. We've lost identity of what it means to be an American. It's why people assimilated 100 years ago, but not anymore. Well, now it's racist if you want them to assimilate. If you say you need to assimilate to the United States, but that's the thing, is they've made our country basically nothing. They've destroyed our culture. There's so many different there's so many different races and ethnicities, and there's just no real culture now in the country. So it's like it's just a globalist cesspool.
What do you think about the fact that you attend an event in England, a state visit, it's spectacular,
right,
and yet the Mayor of London can't be there?
I didn't want him there. I asked that he not be there. I don't want them. I think the Mayor of London, Khan, is among the worst mayors in the world. And we have some bad ones. If you look at Chicago, but I think he's the equivalent of the Mayor of Chicago. I think he's done a terrible job. Crime in London is through the roof. The Mayor of London, Mayor Khan, has done a terrible job. And on immigration, he's a disaster. No, I asked that he...
How the hell the guy is a Muslim? It's London, England. But I mean, I guess that's what it is, and it gives you a good understanding of where London is at this point.
Not be there.
But that's insane.
He wanted to be there, as I understand. I didn't want him. I've not liked him for a long time. I just think, I have a certain pride in London and UK. My mother was born in Scotland, as you know. And when I see Mayor Khan do a bad job, the stabbings and the dirt and the filth, it's not the same. No, I didn't want him there.
And the
Can't imagine New York City this time next year. Pure chaos. Yeah, it's probably going to be pretty bad in New York City. I think it might force them to become a little bit more right wing, though. You had one of the streamers you listened to say this and your thoughts on it. He said you should have to wait at least 3 generations in order to vote. Can't be first generation American. Well, that would obviously be very good. It'd be very good for the right. Yes, that would be very good. But I mean, obviously, you're never going to get something like that passed. Did you see one of Representative Tony Gonzalez's female staff members was set on fire, allegedly no foul play involved? Set on fire? My goodness, I didn't see that. No, I didn't see that. Send Ilhan Omar back to Somalia. Well, that's what Trump was saying in his Truth Social. Create a 5K program for ones who hate America to help them out of the country, and in return, we revoke your citizenship. Gladly pay taxes into that. Yeah, I mean, it feels like we just, none of these deportations actually happen. It's just like, I don't know, maybe they can review Ilhan Omar's, how she became a citizen. I know people are saying it was illegally with her brother.
I think she should be impeached. I think she's terrible. Is she originally from Somalia? Yes, sir. So how are they doing this? How's their government? Do they have a president? Do they have a council? Do they have anything? Do they have police? I love these people that come from a place with nothing, no anything, and then they tell us how to run our country. No, I think if she got censured, that's great. If she got impeached, that's even better. They impeached me twice for nothing. And they impeached me knowing the Republicans are on my side, so they knew it was just, but they impeached me twice. She should be impeached, and it should happen fast.
What, were they refusing to write Charlie Kirk's name or something? The last week or two doesn't even seem real. Kimmel is a disgrace. Yeah, I think the whole stuff is just like, whatever. The fucking, who cares if Kimmel is on the air or not? It's like, ABC made a decision.
This was such a good guy. You know him probably very well. I assume you knew him very well, right? He was a great guy.
Not as well as you, but yes.
No, but he was a great person. He really was a great person. I actually said, Charlie, someday I think you have a good chance of being president. I think you will be president, maybe. And I think he would have had a great chance. He was very compelling. I've never seen anybody capture a group of people like he captured youth. He captured youth. It was incredible. You know, when I say he was a young guy, but I'm talking about the 20-year-olds and the 18-year-olds. It was like he had a following that was incredible.
He did.
This was. We're going to do a big thing with respect to Antifa. It's a sick group. I mean, very, very sick group. We have a lot of things. They love burning the American flag. I think it's terrible that they burn the American flag. We're going in and we're saying it incites riots, and therefore you go to jail for 1 year if you burn the American flag. That's different than Antifa, but Antifa burns a lot of American flags. Because, as you know, the free speech got us on the American flag. the courts have ruled free speech. So we're going to go on an incitement of riots.
Some
I saw it the
people
other day.
worry that this.
I saw it the other day on your show. They have an American flag, and a guy starts burning it, and the people went crazy about it, and they ended up rioting all over the place. So we think that's a reason also, and we're going into the courts with that, which is incitement. Antifa.
Sean, play clip of Trump breaking tradition and walking ahead of King Charles. Trump mogged. Yeah, I think that's probably on here. I'll take a look at that. I appreciate the donation, man. The whale
causes tremendous incitement, and the things they say and the things they do are horrible. So we're going to find out.
You said
we're going to.
spaghetti. Imagine if it's real. Globalist playbook, mass immigration from third world to blue city, elect Muslim mayor, destroy cities, and push U.S. citizens out or instant peace. Well, it is insane. It really needs to be highlighted. Some of these cities, they become almost fully Muslim, and then you're right, they elect Muslim leaders, and people don't see a problem with that. A lot of these liberals don't see any problem with that. So I know it's Dearborn is one, Minneapolis. There's a big Somalian presence. Because look at the mayor that they're trying to get. BB clip about Kirk. Yeah, that was really odd. I don't know why they did that. I actually want to watch that.
Joseph Goebbels, the Nazi propaganda
And it's always got to be in relation to the Nazis.
minister, said that the bigger the lie, the faster it will spread. Well, somebody has fabricated a monstrous big lie that Israel had something to do with Charlie Kirk's horrific murder. This is insane. It is false. It is outrageous. Charlie Kirk was a giant, a once-in-a-century talent who defended freedom, defended America, defended our common Judeo-Christian civilization. Charlie loved Israel. He loved the Jewish people. He told me so in a letter that he sent me just a few months ago. One of my greatest joys as a Christian, he said, is advocating for Israel and forming alliances with Jews to protect Judeo-Christian civilization. He encouraged me to make the case directly to the American people about how vital Israel is to U.S. national security. He told me, the Holy Land is so important to my life, it pains me to see support for Israel slip away. Now, if Charlie disagreed with a policy of mine or a decision here and there, not only did I not mind, I welcomed it. This is the essence of Charlie. This is the essence of a free country. It's exactly what Charlie stood for. And I knew that his suggestions always came from the heart, from his love for Israel and from his love for the Jewish people. A few weeks before his death, I spoke to Charlie. I invited him to visit Israel again. And sadly, that won't happen. Now some are peddling these disgusting rumors, perhaps out of obsession, perhaps with Qatari funding. What I do know is this: Charlie Kirk was a great man, and a great man deserves honor, not lies. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. May your memory be a blessing.
Oh, you gotta get the Qatar funding. But I think it's a bad thing that they put this out for them, for Israel. It makes them look. It's just a weird thing to put out. I mean, obviously, people are going to have the conspiracies about Israel because that's what it is in the United States now. but addressing it only makes it worse. Yeah, that's the point. I don't think you shouldn't be denouncing theories like this. It just makes him look guilty, and the people that believe this shit are only going to believe it even more now. So I don't know why you would even say anything. He did do all of that for his Christian Judeo values. He said it many times. You don't see anything. Well, addressing. I don't think Israel had a part in it, honestly, man. But I don't think you should be addressing it because it gives it oxygen. That's the problem. Government spends 1.2 trillion on welfare programs. If they put that into a newborn baby bond with 5% return and don't allow citizens to access till age 31.5 million per citizen. Yeah, so but they would never allow for that. Would take away all the welfare. That's never gonna happen though. I understand what you're saying. The amount that's spent on it. Here are some cutter bucks. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Body language experiences say Netanyahu is guilty. Come on. Guilty of Israel being involved. Well, they wouldn't even. It would be done in a different way. I mean, it's just not realistic. It's just not realistic for Israel to be involved. There are a few loose ends, I guess. There's a few interesting things with Kirk. But you got to remember just the way in which it was done with the gun, and it wouldn't be that sloppy. I also don't think like all this stuff. Why would he say anything? It just implicates them more. He's guilty. Maybe Bibi was so excited there's finally some theory about Israel that isn't real, and he jumped to denounce it. Yeah, maybe. Blow off top incoming Q4 for crypto. Hopefully. Muslims make up over 2 billion people. That's a quarter of the human population, and they keep multiplying. The West needs to have more babies to offset the difference. Well, conservatives are above replacement level. They're at like 2.2. Liberals are at 1.2. So overall, it is a big problem, but the conservatives are above replacement. But in general, 100% it is a birth rate issue. And it gets replaced by immigration. It is a capitalist. In a word, it is capitalism, more immigration, because the people will work for cheaper. Thoughts on Macron's husband? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Brigitte is suing Candace Owens, and now she's going to give photos of herself as proof that she's not a man, because Candace Owens keeps saying. I mean, there are some weird videos of her, honestly, the way in which she looks, but I don't know what's going on with that. I think she went down another rabbit hole. Do you think Fed cuts rates? Yeah, this is what I think they're gonna do. They're gonna do it. Well, I mean, it'll depend what happens with inflation, but I think they'll do a 0.25 cut in October and then a 0.25 cut in December. So they're gonna be small cuts, but there's probably gonna be 2 more cuts of 0.25, quarter of a percent. How often do you drive? I mean, not a ton. Some like once a day maybe. Have I been to New Brunswick? No. Crazy the rates were near zero during last pandemic. Well, inflation was at zero. Some of the Trump pasta photo, it's a doctored photo. Mark, I appreciate it. Thank you for that. Thoughts on Adam Carolla? I never really watched him. Buy Bitcoin and stocks. You say it's a little late to buy Bitcoin at this point, I would say, man. But I love Bitcoin. I hope Bitcoin goes to 1 million. Their group of thugs chanting "fuck Charlie Kirk" in the streets of New York City.
Fuck Charlie Kirk! 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 Fuck Charlie Kirk!
Young scholars, they're going to tell us this is why diversity is important. This is a great example. Bitcoin will go to 60K before 200. Honestly, it's not a terrible prediction. It depends what you think the cycle top will be. Yeah, I don't think the cycle top's going to be 200. It's going to be lower than that. It's not too late for Bitcoin. Well, I mean, Bitcoin it is kind of too late. I mean, it depends what your safety threshold is. They got paid for sure. Yeah, organizing like that, I mean, it's probably 100%. I mean, at 60K, I think Bitcoin could make some serious sense. But even 60K, it's like, then what is the next cycle top? But I don't even know if the cycle bottom will be 60K. We'll have to see. $250K. I think it'll be a bit higher than that, like in 2030 or 2029. I don't know if we'll still. I don't think we're gonna do 4-year cycles anymore. I think it's gonna be a little bit different. There's too much money in too mainstream. Did you see The View got backlash for not mentioning anything about Jimmy Kimmel on their show? Maybe they're scared they could be next. Huh. Man, that's like where liberal media is at this point. You didn't mention somebody, so you're going to be canceled. Liberals will cancel them for fucking not mentioning them. I mean, that is surprising. You'd think they would for sure be all over that, and they would say that Trump's a fascist and anti-free speecher. So I don't know. SEC released framework for crypto ETFs, trillions coming into the space in the next 10 years. 100%. I just don't know how many legitimate projects there are outside of things like Chainlink, and it seems like there's maybe like 7 or 8 good altcoins that have legitimate utility, and then kind of falls off after that. I'm not holding XRP now. I would not recommend XRP to anyone. That's the Buffalo Bills Thursday night game. You had XRP in 2021. I never owned it. I had Litecoin in 2017. And Digibyte. Look at what they did to Jamie Lee Curtis. Did they hate on her for those comments? Yeah, she actually made some comments that surprised people because she's a liberal, but she said she was very sad about Kirk's passing, I believe. Worst case scenario is Bitcoin goes up a modest amount. Year over year, best case, we see quite large. Well, I mean, I think what's going to happen is it's probably going to have a cycle top of about 170, 180K, and then it'll see a pretty big retracement, and then it'll go up higher again. I mean, there's no reason to expect it to do anything other than what it's already done the past decade and a half. Especially now with all of the institutions involved basically endorsing it as digital gold and stored value. And people are just storing Bitcoin. They're parking it just like you do with gold. Bitcoin was never really... I mean, they said it was a currency, but it was never going to be a currency. These cryptocurrencies can't be currencies. They're too volatile. The volatility on them is too high. People would never treat them like currencies. Oh, let me sell Bitcoin for a house. But what is the price of Bitcoin? What point are we in the cycle? It doesn't make sense. It just... Yeah, fiat has inflation, but not at the same, not even close to the same volatility as something like Bitcoin. She did the whole I disagree with everything he said, but liberals didn't care. Yeah, you're right. You have to put the disclaimer. She gave the disclaimer and it didn't matter is what you're saying. The Piers Morgan clips with Don Lemon.
This is what led to you leaving CNN. Let's take a look at the clip.
She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily.
40s. Oh, I got another.
I'm not saying I agree with that. So I think she has to be careful about saying that.
When you watch that, Don, I happened to be watching that live, and I was like, "Whoa, what did you just say?" I mean, if you had a do-over, would you say that again? I mean, what led you to say that?
Okay, Piers, let me just say this. I'm going to answer your question, but just so the audience knows, and I hope you don't cut this out, when I asked you what subjects you wanted to talk about, you know what you said to me? You said, I want to talk to you about freedom of speech in America and the response to Charlie Kirk's death.
Yeah.
Not once did you mention that we were going to talk about CNN or whatever. So, and had I known that, I probably wouldn't have accepted this interview. You have invited me on many times, and I tell you, Piers, I know you. I would come on your show, but I don't do panels. And so when you said I'm not going to be involved in a panel, I agreed to come on your show. But I thought you would also stick by the subjects that you told me that you were going to talk about.
Just to be clear,
rather than try to ambush me with something.
Just to be clear,
so,
you and I haven't. Well, Don, just to be clear, you and I haven't had any conversation about your appearance here. You're talking about my team talking to you.
Yeah, no, and I saw you, Piers, in a restaurant, and I said, hey, Piers, good to see you. Yeah. I would come on your show, but I don't do panels.
Right.
And I said the same thing to your bookers.
There's only one
of you. And so when I asked you, right. Okay, and so, yes, and I said that's why I agreed to do it. But when you asked me, or when your team asked me what subjects, and I asked them 2 or 3 times, I have the text messages, what do you want to cover? Yeah. Not once was CNN mentioned. So I don't appreciate being ambushed. But let me answer your question.
Ambush? Hang on one second. Oh, Don, hang on 1 second. Let's just be crystal clear about what's just happened. You brought up the subject of cancel culture. I asked you, did you feel your departure from CNN was an example of that? And you answered the question. And I think it's perfectly reasonable.
And I answered the question.
Perfectly reasonable in that if you'd said to me, I don't want to talk about it, fine. Sorry. You said what you're going to say. By the way, we don't.
Disingenuous.
Don, we don't edit.
I don't like arguing like this. I'm not going to get into an argument with you. Piers, I think that's completely disingenuous. And I think anyone watching that.
What are you talking about?
And so if you will let me, if you will allow me, please.
What
please
are you
stop
talking about?
Me, okay. Did you invite me here to interrupt me, or are you going to let me?
I think you're being
a
complete dick, if I'm honest with you.
Okay.
I do.
Well, that's very kind and respectful of you.
It wasn't intended to be kind or respectful.
I don't like the ad hominem attacks.
Prime for men is dependent on your worth and if you take care of your body, but it could be 30s. Women, it's like mid-20s. It's like 22 to 26. I don't know, man. This type of stuff is... Like, you look towards the end of it, it gets really bad.
If you had... And then you throw
I've given you a moment, enough. I've given you your moment.
I don't want a moment.
This is going to go viral, so please,
I don't want
enough.
A moment,
yes, you
Don.
do. Otherwise, you wouldn't do this. Otherwise, you would be a respectful journalist and host, and you would let me talk. I don't think I'll take lectures on being a respectful journalist
because
you want
Don.
a moment. Oh my gosh, Piers. I can't even hear because there's a delay.
Now he's starting to act bitch made. Now he brings out the bitch voice.
And you keep talking. And what do you want me to do? Like rip the earpiece out in the mic and run off so you have a moment?
No, I don't care.
Are you going to let me answer the question? Are you just going to keep pillaring me with questions?
I don't know why you've gone on this weird rant. I don't understand any of it. Why have you done this weird reaction? I simply asked you about whether you felt your departure from CNN was, in your eyes, an example of cancel culture. I played the clip,
Piers,
and
you're embarrassing yourself.
I then said, when you watch it back, do you really understand what you were saying?
This is why I don't do this, but you're embarrassing yourself, Piers.
Actually, you might be embarrassing yourself, Don.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Oh, man. Don Lemon. But then why did Don Lemon go out and like look all happy when he was interviewing people asking him about Charlie Kirk's being assassinated? He looked really happy doing that, didn't he? Now he doesn't look so happy. Now he doesn't look so happy. You know, it's just his eyes, but he looks intoxicated. Yeah, he looks zooted out. Prime has nothing to do with net worth. Of course it does for men. For women, it doesn't. Do you think we're winning the culture war? Will the pendulums eventually swing back? I don't even know. I can't. I think it is looking pretty good, especially after this heinous reaction to the. I mean, independents are going to be put off by this reaction. They have to be. They got to be put off by a lot of these liberal people and their reactions. The culture war has been helped greatly by Musk buying X. How the fuck is net worth only work for men? Because women are attracted to men with money. Prime is dependent on a lot of things for men, but normally it happens a bit later than a woman's prime. No notification. It happens, man. Happens with YouTube. I don't know. Does YouTube notify you guys when I schedule the live stream or when I go live or both? I never understood when they actually notify you. When I schedule a live stream, some people say YouTube notifies them even when I schedule it. But I thought it just notified you when I went live, actually. Just when you go live. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, because I basically, I'll schedule the stream like an hour before going live or so, and some people will join up. But yeah, that's what I thought. +30-year-old women get mad when men want a hot 20-year-old. Yeah, that's very common though. And the only way, if you're gonna attract a good-looking, hot 23-year-old girl, you have to have serious income. So you've got to be high quality yourself. But women do get angry at that, of course. But it's just kind of the way it works with a lot of men. Internet has killed dating. Well, I mean, internet's hurt a lot. It's hurt relationships between humans just in general.
Good evening. My name is Erica Kirk. Charlie Kirk is my husband. Charlie always said that when he was gone, he wanted to be remembered for his courage and for his faith. Now and for all eternity, he will stand at his Savior's side, wearing the glorious crown of a martyr. Charlie loved life. He loved his life. He loved America. But most of all, Charlie loved his children, and he loved me with all of his heart.
Inception, yes.
And I knew that. Every day I knew that. The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. But they should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country. And this world, you have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife.
Oh, Charlie, you didn't deserve it. May God bless your family.
The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
People across the country are gathering, holding memorial services and vigils to honor Charlie Kirk's memory and his message.
To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die. It will become stronger, bolder, louder, and greater than ever. Charlie, I promise I will never let your legacy die. I won't. I promise I'll make Turning Point USA the biggest thing that this nation has ever seen.
Bro, are you seriously messaging in German? Dude, you gone too... Like, and I know why you're doing it, too.
Rest lost in the arms of our Lord. As he blankets you with the words I know your heart always strives to hear. Well done, my good and faithful servant.
Charlie, you put all this together, my man. Let's hear it.
I am just humbled by God. That's all I can say. It's done. I want you to remember that we did not earn this. This is God's mercy on our country.
Wow, so they used that music from Inception, I guess. I want to watch this video of the like conspiracy surrounding it. It's like debunking the conspiracies or something. You need to make 116K to afford a house? No, not 116K. It depends where you live, man. You could make less than that and afford a house. There's really good homes, but the housing markets are different in cities. So it's dependent on the city you live in. But it is true, any majority, Caucasian suburb, it's going to be very pretty expensive. I mean, the problem is the starter homes in high-end suburbs are like 400K. 1,700 square feet should not be 400K. There's just in a suburb too. Like in a city, I could understand, but a suburb. So sad to see people your age die. It's tough to process, especially with Charlie. He had his whole life ahead of him. Well, you can't really. There's nothing. We haven't seen anything like this with somebody this famous, with somebody that, I mean, yeah, and just crazy young in comparison to what he had already accomplished already. So I mean, he'd already been to the White House with the president for like both of Trump's terms. It's just such a young person to obviously die like that is terrible. Are you a man if your wife makes more than you? I think it's a tough dynamic. It's a challenging dynamic. I'll say that. I don't know. If it depends if it's like minimal amounts, but I think it's a challenging dynamic for a marriage. But that definitely is a preference thing, and some people say they make it work and it's fine and stuff like that. I think it's a challenge. It's an odd dynamic. There's no way around it. Thoughts on a Charlie Kirk Turning Point USA movie? I mean, I think there'll be documentaries. I don't know if there'll be a movie. I think we'll see what ends up happening. I mean, with what they produce now, it's they do like documentary movies sometimes, I guess. Do you think the momentum will carry over to the 2028 election? I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, right now it's very raw. You have to understand. So with time passing, it's going to get less raw, but people are obviously still going to remember it, and I don't know. It's hard to say for 2028. For the love of Christ, take off slow chat mode. I'm not going to do that because then people will spam it. People will spam. It's not worth doing it. Search Kimmel protests. People are protesting. What a waste of time. People are protesting for Kimmel. Did Charlie support the death penalty? Yeah, he did, I believe. Because I saw a clip of him saying he did. Do you think most of liberals are aware that one of Charlie's kids ran in his direction because they were scared? Is that true? Was the family there? I was told that was false and the family was not there. I was told the family was at their house in Arizona. So I don't know, man. Family was not there. That's what I was told. For men, it's height, status, and money. Yeah, no, that is true. That you're not wrong. You can't really argue with that, especially in the modern internet age. Yeah, go ahead, look that up. Go ahead, look that up. You like it? You like it slow? $544 lot of watchers. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was at like 300 at one point.
For my fellow neighbors who have been kidnapped off the street, being led by a fascist president, I'm here because ICE should be out of New York. I am here to ensure that we protect all our fellow constituents. It is not illegal to be undocumented. We shall not be moved. 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 Vamos y no nos vamos y si nos echan nos regresamos. Aquí estamos y no nos vamos y si nos echan nos.
I don't even know what this is, man. This is some weird foreign third worldism. I don't even know.
It's great. Even in death, Charlie keeps winning debates. You know, the media, this is what's disgusting. Just look at the reaction. The media is trying to make Jimmy Kimmel into their Charlie Kirk. But as if like getting fired is the same as getting fired upon. That's what disgusts me, is how they're trying, this is a blatant effort to get the stink off them. The decades of
Does anyone want to watch this? Yes, no, no, yes, no, yes. 37 minutes, geez, yes, no, no. Yes, no, yes. This is, well, it's like 50-50. Sure, no. No, no. No. Wow, people actually, the silent majority. Your opinion on Neon? I don't know. He's like 12 years old. I don't know. I don't know about the kids that are streamers and stuff like that. Seems like people want to watch it. I thought it would be the opposite. Yeah, I mean, 65-35 is decent.
All these questions I've answered for myself. Of course, I don't know everything. I don't know the full story, and there's lots of holes. There's lots of things I still have questions about. But I have enough information to arrive at a conclusion for myself, so I'm just going to say what I think and answer these one by one. So let's go over to my timeline. And I've compiled as many clips from other creators, more footage that's come out, reports, pictures from the FBI, everything I could find the past few days that either try to prove or disprove all these points. And we're going to watch them together, and I'll let you know what I think. Let me get rid of this. Make sure I'm recording. Looks like it. Okay, let's rock and roll. So first one is Charlie wearing body armor. Here's some more footage I found specifically trying to answer that question. Man, I miss him already.
He's not
You
wearing
can see
body armor.
the shirt really bends around his chest. I'm looking at his shirt. I'm looking for signs of a plate or Kevlar. This is him driving to the venue. I'm looking at his shoulder. I'm looking for any kind of imprints of straps or something like that.
Where they arrested?
I don't see anything.
And I'll tell you all about it when I...
Man, I can't believe he's gone. What an amazing human. So here we get into the shot.
Bro, it's enough with the letters, okay? It's enough with the letters. It clogs the chat. I appreciate the mod, for deleting it. It just clogs the chat. I'm tired of looking at it.
This is the most perplexing thing, is the shirt reacts first, as if there's an object inside the shirt that kind of lifts it up and out. And so many of us are just perplexed by this, and I was for a long time, because on all the clips it looks like he doesn't have a body armor on, but at the moment of impact, what is going on here? The shirt is getting pulled away.
You see how his shirt is moving before there's even a wound on his face, almost like something pumped out of his shirt, like something popped in his shirt.
So here, another picture I found. You can see this line, this crease that forms on the bottom, and it looks like it's the bottom of a plate, which is definitely not a plate.
It's just a fold.
But what it could be is something like this, right? Flat, really stealth Kevlar. It wouldn't stop a rifle round, but it could stop pistol, could stop a knife attack, and ultimately I think that's all he would be trying to do.
Feel secure, move freely, and stay...
Here on the back, you can see there's definitely nothing on the back. Not even
I think it's a wind effect of how fast the bullet was traveling. That's what I believe he'll say.
It doesn't even look like a tank top is under there. Maybe, but it doesn't look like it. But then so the question still could be, well, maybe it's just front armor, right? But then we keep going. And we got this shot. Look at that. You can clearly see a nipple outline. It kind of concaves in the middle. It doesn't look flat at all. The way it rounds here. A Kevlar would kind of flatten that out, you know. So, and here, boom, too clear as day. And you could try to make the argument that like maybe those are these points, but you know, this should not be that hard to see. The fact that we're reaching so far is a sign that, you know, like Occam's razor, the simplest explanation is often the right one. It should be obvious, and it's not. It's one of those things.
And so he's
so this creator, I have credit down here, Outside the Overton. He has a video that I watched.
Charlie Kirk has an earpiece in, and I'll demonstrate.
He's claiming that Charlie has an earpiece in.
That here in a second, and then camera 3 is done, and it's actually more comfortable. I give him this. I figured this one out. It's more comfortable to have it wrap around and pinch into a mic.
There's these invisible, really, really thin earpieces, which is a great thought. And it could be. It absolutely could be true, but I don't think it
So
is.
slightly tighter, and then that makes it near and there.
So if something like that was clipped in his shirt, and then you can imagine, okay, well, what if the round hit and then yanked that out and that got pulled up and out or something just from the shock, and then that clip was put somewhere, then we're starting to get somewhere, right?
You can then feel the strain relief.
But the thing is, if we watch the footage, let me zoom in here. Look at this, because I was thinking, well, maybe the footage is so grainy we just can't see it, but we can see it very clearly on his bodyguard, and I would imagine they invest in similar products, and that Charlie would have the same type of thing, close, right? But I don't see anything. I don't see anything. No earpiece. Zoom out. I'm looking. No earpiece, but we do have a necklace. This and to the other YouTuber that we were just watching, he's saying that this is like, you know, he's monitoring this, but this would be a recorder for himself.
You think it's a shockwave? I mean, I think listen, he wasn't wearing body armor. If you can see the outline of his nipples, I mean, wouldn't the body armor would be way too small? It wouldn't even cover it. That doesn't make any sense.
A backup audio. And all media teams do this. When I've been a videographer for the last 10 years, and I do this all the time, just to get a backup source of his audio, because the microphone, sometimes he pulls it away, sometimes not. The words can get lost, but this would be a consistent source of audio that the media team could always use to repurpose for the videos. So I'm looking, and this is really grainy, but you'd think I would see something. The necklace we see, right? And here's a good shot. I just don't see it. Maybe it's there. I don't see it. But what we do have is the necklace. And what I am going to go ahead and say for myself is it's the necklace that lifts the shirt up. It's a long necklace. He wears it all the time. It's clearly a necklace. It's not a wire like the YouTuber was saying that's wrapping around. And it matches the distance. If we go back to the shot, the way the shirt gets kind of pulled up in one area. It's not like if it was Kevlar, it would lift pretty evenly. This gets pulled up to the side, and it gets pulled up all the way to his ear, really similarly to the length that I would assume the necklace is. And I think the way it balls up there, I think the cross of the necklace is here. And this is interesting. Up here, you see this wire that moves. What that wire... Is that maybe the necklace? I'm gonna leave it there, and maybe somebody else will confirm that later on.
I didn't see that in the first time.
So that's my best guess. No body armor, and that's why the shirt moves first. Let's talk about the caliber, the weapon.
He was not shot with a 30-06.
I'm a deer hunter, and every deer I've ever shot, I've shot with a 30-06 round. And every time I've walked up on every deer I've taken down with my 30-06, it looked like a crime scene.
I mean, I've not ever shot any people, but I've shot deer, and I hit it right towards the back of the head, the bigger part. And it went in, and the entire side opened up. It was weird. There was almost no blood.
Send slow-mo for you. That head.
This is a 30-06 test shot from this channel. Credit to Dual Liberty Firearms. He shoots a dummy, a ballistic dummy. So the thing that perplexed me initially is this wound. I don't know that this is necessarily a full-size wound. I don't think it's an exit wound. I think he got hit directly on, and I think that it's just blood starting to come out that makes the wound look bigger than it is.
Up to the fled off of the campus and into a
nothing new.
Suspect continuing to walk the street there.
Yeah, that's for supposedly TMZ released this video. This was him going to the event. So he went to the event with the gun concealed and in his pant, they said. Did you see Cash on Newsmax? He says Utah decided against arresting Lance Twiggs, the boyfriend you're talking about, based off of FBI info.
Very close. A new shot.
So in these pictures, obviously matches the description perfectly, and I'm looking for the weapon. How can he conceal it in this setup? I think the backpack is full of clothes, his towel, a change of clothes, and is going to be largely used as a gun rest, so that he can get a stable shot because he has no bipod. I also think he probably has tools and pieces of the rifle inside. But the rifle itself, where is it? To me, it does look like the backpack is a little bit off his back. So maybe it could be a big portion of the rifle could be between his backpack and his back. Also, Greg Hughes Investigates, I think his name is. He pointed out down here that this bulge is interesting. The barrel could be going down his leg. It's the right leg, which matches his limp. And I think he's going up step by step. Like, where's another picture? Here, you can see it's kind of like a crippled person would go down one step by one step. So he's going one step at a time. And this bulge right here, right leg, looks suspicious to me. I think the rifle could be coming, like the barrel could be coming down his leg and poking out the back right here. It's for sure not in his backpack. That's for sure. And he has the rifle, so it's got to be somewhere in there. One guess I have is that he took off the scope, because it would just be like a long tube, a little bit easier to put down his back and have it go down one leg, and that he mounted the scope with the screwdriver on the roof. And I would never have suspected that if he was more of a professional shooter, because no professional shooter would ever touch their scope zero, and especially not right before the shot. But he is just a kid. So I wouldn't put it past him to do something silly like that. And within 200 yards, 240-yard shot, it absolutely wouldn't affect your zero to the point where he would definitely miss that shot. But it could explain why the shot is in the neck rather than center mass, where I now believe is where he would have been aiming. So here is a credit to Misha's Guns. I'm using one of his videos. He has an awesome video of a Mauser being shot 200 yards through iron sights. These are 30-06 rounds, big round. He's got a first round impact, and a second round, or third round is, again, headshot. This is iron sights, 200 yards. Now, clearly, this guy's a good shot, but it proves a point.
Just under 30 inches.
This is a video from Matt Kester that I'm using to
He's adult, not a kid. You know what he means. Look at him. He was 22, I think.
Demonstrate how he could have possibly concealed it. So he breaks down the rifle, and he demonstrates how you can put it down your pant leg. And that's half the rifle. And then he's walking.
You can see a little bit of printing from the barrel there on.
And it's similar, right? So this is a demonstration of putting together a Mauser. How quick you could assemble it. Screw. And we know from reports that there was a screwdriver recovered. But my question is, was the screwdriver used to put on the scope, which was clearly put on wrong? Looks like it was put on in a rush and like it was a mistake. Or was that scope being mounted wrong from the drop of the fall of him falling off the roof? And did he use the screwdriver to assemble the gun like this?
Stock. Bolt going in. Gab completed.
So either way, if we zoom out and go to the location where he would have set that up, here's our cover area right here behind the wall. Presumably he could have done that behind the wall here. So he would have limped up the stairs, waited here, hopped the wall, put it together, ran up across a roof to his final firing position, put his bag down with all of his clothes and his towel to make a gun rest, put his gun on there, and then took the shot, and then ran over here and took off towards the neighborhood. And here is where I'm glad Matt Kester made a video, because when I looked at this, before, I could clearly see there's something stiff here, where people were saying that's just a towel, that's a hoodie. Well, hoodies don't point straight up like that. And then I'm on the same page as Matt Kester here, that the rifle, as it came up and around, it pointed upwards.
Straight.
In a towel. And then, so this is a better shot right here. It's more enhanced. Let's go frame by frame. That, to me, it clearly looks like a stiff, straight object, which of course would be the Mauser, which is fully assembled still. He didn't disassemble it. Hits the ground. Possibly messed up the scope alignment there. Maybe not. Either way, runs off. And I see this is an enhanced footage. That's why it's frame blending. So you got to be careful with enhanced footage. It can change and distort things for the worse. But if this is the original footage I ripped from the FBI's page, the thing is the barrel could be sticking out here and you just can't see it. I mean, look how thick his legs are and they've almost disappeared. The barrel would be significantly thinner than his legs and you almost can't even see his legs. So that's that. Let's see, before we move on to, well, let's keep going. If it was him, then
Obama.
How do we have these images? That one hand, he looks like this, or that doesn't look like the same guy. But as we can see, that looks like Barack Obama, appears to be, but the AI pumps it out to be like that. And that's what people did online, is they took this image and told AI to make something. And AI made this guy. And so from here on out, this is only going to get worse and worse of a problem in the future as AI gets better, more convincing.
Yeah,
So
he's right. And people are doing this a lot now with photos. They'll run it through the AI and the AI will be like 98% chance it's fake. So they'll be like, oh, it's completely fake for sure. But yeah, they're going to, the AI is wrong on a lot of this stuff. And they put together this dude and it's like he's got this Mexican tint and turns out they didn't put him together properly. They ran him through a fucking AI creator thing and they spit out like a Mexican dude.
So just be very, very careful. And frankly, look for the source. Ignore a lot of things you see online or take it with a grain of salt.
Was wrapped around the firearm, and the DNA on the screwdriver are positively processed for the suspect in custody. After the shooting and assassination of Charlie Kirk, the suspect admitted to it. But I will say what was found in terms of information, a text message exchange, where the suspect specifically stated that he had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and he was going to do that. And when he was asked why, he said some hatred cannot be negotiated with.
Admitted to the murder. Quote, "Hey guys, I have bad news for y'all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this." If Robinson wasn't a lone wolf, we'll find out pretty soon.
Before we get to that, let's look at our list. Why do the images not match? We answered that. One shot, 200 yards possible? Yes, very possible. And one thing I'll add is that a new shooter often has greater accuracy on their first shot than they do in subsequent shots. If you're an amateur and you're just studying the fundamentals and you get your sight picture and you slow, steady squeeze, you're going to hit a bullseye. And I see it all the time when I'm teaching my own students how to shoot. Their first shot is often perfect. It's the second, third, fourth shots after they feel that recoil and then they go in to shoot again that they start to anticipate and jerk the trigger, forget their fundamentals, and they get worse before they get better again. So that's just an important point, I think, to keep in mind, is that this was his first and only shot. And as long as you're applying the fundamentals within 200 yards, it's almost hard not to hit, rather. And sniper craft really becomes a craft after 500, 600, 800 yards. Under that, if you're shooting in relatively low to moderate wind and your weapon is zeroed and you hold center mass on a human-sized target, you're going to hit. So let's keep going.
Yeah, hold on, let me see this.
They snipped through phone really, really well. 3, 2, 1.
Is it a mask? People are pointing at that. Is Charlie still alive? Unfortunately, we now know from earlier that is a necklace. So again, you got to be careful with what you see online. People will do anything to try to justify their bias or see what they want to see. And to me, this is clearly debunked.
The drone.
People are saying this is a drone. I don't know if you can see it, but the bird's flapping. And we already seen what happens with really grainy footage, how things disappear and artifacts and things look weird. It's a bird. That's my analysis. It's a damn bird. Here's another.
Shooting.
Apparently there's been a shooting.
Zips by, people are saying that this looks like a drone. I don't know which drone is moving that fast and how good the audio or video quality is of that, but I can tell you what does move that fast is
there's been a shooting.
A damn bird. You got the wings. People are just stretching, man. It's pretty ridiculous.
Are a little bit.
Now we go on to
those
the
of us
next
who
one.
served in the military are a little bit aware of hand signals being thrown up, and these two men need to really be looked into.
All right, I think I found the shooter. This guy right here with the white hat, he starts it by creating a couple signals.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been?
There goes the signals.
Over the last 10 years. Counting or not counting gang violence?
And he's touching his arm so that this guy right here in the white shirt, watch what happens when the arm comes out right here. See how he's got his arm up?
Just a bunch of nonsense.
He shoots it.
He's saying this is recoil.
His hand goes right back.
Do you have any idea
and watch
how slow this projectile would be moving?
What happens?
In order for this to be the bullet time.
Gun, and watch what happens. He shoots it. His hand goes right back into place, and then Charlie gets.
So this person is so convicted that this is a gun with this quality. And this is why on the internet you got to be careful. There's absolutely nothing except the coincidental movement of a very normal gesture. This person bringing their hands up. And people are equating that to not only him being an accomplice, but the shooter.
And then Charlie gets hit. Bang. Oh my God.
You got to be careful, guys. The internet is a scary place with people like, who just are ignorant. They don't know what they're talking about. This is a better angle, and just look. That person before this video concluded that this person was the shooter, 100%. And look at this. Brings his hands up, fist. There's nothing in his hands. Brings up fist, pumping.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You're willing to bet money that there's someone out there who thinks it was CGI? Well, there's a bunch of people that probably think it's CGI. I mean, there's theories going on about everything right now. Dude feels like an establishment puppet. I don't even think he's that big of a... He's not even... He's just doing it because he was a former sniper, I think. That's why he was doing that video. Yeah, I know people thought the initial video was AI. I didn't think it was AI.
Mickey
9
Mouse
minutes? Bruh.
Pulled the plug, and Jimmy Kimmel's not happy. ABC suspended his late night show indefinitely. He was spotted storming out of the studio last night and hopping into a getaway car. Even across the pond, Trump couldn't resist.
Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago.
So why'd Kimmel get benched? He falsely framed you for killing Charlie.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Almost half of ABC's affiliates were threatening to black out his show that night. Advertisers were burning up the phones. ABC executives were getting flooded with emails. Disney boss Bob Iger wanted Kimmel to apologize, but Kimmel said, "No way, Bob."
Jimmy wanted to go on his show last night, and in his monologue, I hear that he wanted to address the backlash from the right regarding his commentary about Charlie Kirk's charged killer. And I hear that that monologue was very hot. It very much took aim at MAGA, and that is when the executives said, we can't have him go on the air.
But he was wrong. So is he going to be wrong again? So he's double downing. He's going to double down on being wrong. It just doesn't make any sense.
Night.
Little Jimmy Kimmel thought he was bigger than Disney, bigger than Mickey Mouse. Charlie Kirk's body isn't even buried, and ABC affiliates are refusing to air his show. They're on the brink of an advertiser boycott, and this guy's not even in first place. And he says, let's go another round. So the boss said, take a breather, Jimmy. You're costing us a fortune and making us look like we don't have a conscience. After the biggest assassination since Martin Luther King, the face of your network can't lie about the shooting and pin it on MAGA. Sounds like an easy call to me. But the left thinks America as a country is finished.
This is a major moment in American history. This is a crossing of the Rubicon.
There may be no democracy to save a year from now. This is a red alert moment.
If you're not paying attention now and doing something about it, well, then you're going to have to sit down the rest of your life because democracy is being taken away.
Ribs want libs to do something about it. Well, they already shot Trump and killed Charlie. What does he have in mind? Charlie Kirk got murdered in cold blood for speaking his mind. But a comedian gets...
No, there's no way the Cardinals play at home on Sunday. What are you talking about, man? That they got to be on the road.
Getting suspended is the turning point in American history. Fang Fang's boy toy, who never fought for any of your jobs, is fighting for Jimmy's.
You are wearing a...
Dude, look at this. Oh, my... The embarrassment. He puts on a Jimmy Kimmel hat. The ultra-rich California elitist millionaire. But we just have to support him. It's so sad. He lied blatantly about a man being killed to try and benefit his own political party. But we have to feel sad and wear his hat.
Hat? What does that hat say?
You're damn right I am, John. I was a guest on the Jimmy Kimmel
acting.
Show. He, every night, has a right to come into any house that wants to watch and entertain Americans, just as Greg Gutfeld on Fox has a right to be not funny and go on his network and entertain.
You don't have a
Don't be
right to say
salty.
whatever you want on network television. They're public airwaves. You're not going to get thrown in jail if you drop the F-bomb or crack an ethnic joke, but you're not going to last long. Network television has standards of decency, decorum, taste. Legally, what's on the public airwaves is supposed to serve the public interest. Lying about a crime is actually a big no-no on the networks. They can lose their license. Now, Jimmy Kimmel's not entitled to his job. He said the wrong thing, and now he's in a little trouble. It's happened to a lot of us on TV. ABC suspended Brian Ross for pinning a shooting on the wrong guy. Sound familiar? Whoopi for mangling the Holocaust. Bob Greasy for a taco joke. And they fired Limbaugh and Roseanne for racial stuff. ABC fired Bill Maher for calling the 9/11 hijackers brave.
We have been the cowards, lobbing cruise missiles from 2,000 miles away. That's cowardly.
That's
Staying in the
cowardly.
airplane when it hits the building. Say what you want about it, not cowardly.
Did he have a right to say that? Yeah. Was that the wrong thing to say right after 9/11? Yeah. We were still pulling bodies out of the smoking rubble at Ground Zero. And Maher was calling Al-Qaeda courageous and America a bunch of wimps. He didn't get sent to prison, just to HBO, where a guy with his material belongs. Toobin got caught playing naked solitaire on the work Zoom. CNN suspended him, and now he's back. Sometimes we screw up, and Jimmy screwed up. Maybe he comes back. But why is Kimmel so special?
America is a less free place if late night comedians cannot do and say what they want. Of course, they can be tuned out. People can change the channel. That's how we vote. That's how we have our say in America. But this really does have a chilling effect across the American media.
First of all, it wasn't a joke. He blamed the right for killing Charlie with a straight face. It was a lie, and it puts a target on the right's back. And second, can late night comedians on TV tell racist jokes? Can they tell Jewish jokes? Can you tell gay jokes on network TV? Can they talk about how fat and ugly their bosses are? Of course not. I don't think Kimmel should be fired for a bad joke or even this comment. But there are standards in show business. Everyone in the business knows it. If he wants to tell lies and make scornful comments about half the country and get really edgy, get a podcast or do it on Netflix. Do you think Johnny Carson, before Kennedy's funeral, could say it was the Catholics that shot him in Dallas? Everyone's making this about free speech. It's about business. You can't run a business when your employees make you look bad. And people are threatening not to put your product on the shelf. And when you ask your employee to apologize, he says, F you. Straight to HR, Kimmel. And is Kimmel even worth it? Look at his ratings from the last 15 years. Look at that. He should have been let go a long time ago. He assassinated his own numbers. The Disney stock price, that hasn't gone up in the last 4 years. This isn't about censorship. This is about math.
This is misery. And in the world of somebody who is an authoritarian, maybe a dictatorship, sooner or later, everyone is going to be touched.
Obama says the First Amendment is dead. Quote, this is precisely the kind of government coercion that the First Amendment was designed to prevent. And media companies need to start standing up rather than capitulating to it. Do Dave and Barack understand that Trump didn't suspend Kimmel? His boss, Bob Iger, suspended him. And Obama knows a lot about government coercion. His IRS targeted.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. I'm going to end it there.